What's up guys, welcome to new Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. Today I'm gonna show you how to create a huge procedural planet. It's gonna be a very easy build to follow, so let's get started. Alright, so the first thing that we will need is this free plugin. I will go ahead and link in the description. It's the Voxel plugin. It is actually very popular in the Unreal Engine community. You probably have heard of it before, but basically I'm gonna be using this to create our planet. Like I said, this is the free version. So what we're gonna do is just click on download, and once it's download, you're gonna go ahead and install in the engine. Now you can specify the engine version over here. In my case, I'm gonna be using 5.2, which is the latest version, but of course you can use whatever version you want. In this case, I've already installed it in 5.2, that's why it doesn't appear. It only appears 5.1 because it's the one that I don't have it installed, but you can basically select the version they want and then press install. In this case, I have already done it. Alright, so now we want to create a new project, so I'm gonna open my Unreal Engine version and I create a template here. So in here, I'm gonna go ahead and select the third person template, just to put a template, but of course you can choose whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. It's just because that later on we can play actually with our character in the huge world, in a huge planet. So for example, I recommend using third person to test its capability. And very important, we have to set it into C++ because the plugin will use C++ in order to work, so make sure you select it. If you have already created in Blueprints, what you can do is create a C++ class and the project will convert into a C++ project. I'm gonna put a name here. Let me just put planet tutorial. And that's it. Specify a location as always and leave everything as default. We can just go ahead and hit create. Alright, so the project has opened and has created. And if it opened Visual Studio, if you hadn't installed, don't worry, just close it. It's because we're using a C++ project, but we don't need Visual Studio basically. So real quick, we will need two plugins. First of all, to actually activate the Voxel plugin. So let's go into the edit plugin section and search for Voxel. And yes, it is now installed in the engine but not activated, so we have to go ahead and press this toggle to enable it. Now we'll also use another plugin, which is the Sun Position Calculator. You will see what this is in a second, so let me also activate this, and now we have to restart the engine. So let's go ahead and do so. Alright, so the plugins has been enabled. You can see the pop-ups here. We can just close them, and that's it. Let me also put the content browser here. I like to have it here. And now we can go ahead and begin to create our planet. So what we're going to do is just go into File, New Level, and create an empty level. Okay, we are not going to be using the already templates existed, use the unempty level. And so go ahead and just hit create. And now what we need to do is go into quickly add to the project, go down into all classes and search for sky. And we'll see that we have this blueprint over here called Sun Sky. Let's go ahead and just drag it into the scene. And now with this selected, we're gonna go into the details panel and just press this button here to reset it into this default location 000. So it's in the center of the world. This blueprint, as you can see, will contain a lot of different components, basically our skylight, directional light, sky atmosphere, and so on. Now let's quickly select our directional light and let's drop down the intensity from this huge value into only like 50. And you'll see why in a second. Basically, it's very, very bright. Alright, another thing that we are going to do is, well, now actually just drag in our planet. So what we're going to do is go into quickly add to the project and go into this new section, which is the Voxel. If you don't see it, you can just go onto all classes and just search for Voxel and you have all the options here. But basically in Voxel, we're gonna go ahead and drag in our Voxel world. So just drag it into the scene. And there we go. These things, I don't know why, it like glitches my lower screen, only using 5.2. If you have the same problem, let me know because it's really weird. Anyway, again, let's go into the location, press the button, so we reset to the center of the world, to the 000. And then what we can do is, right now, change it from being just a flat surface in here into the generator to be basically a planet. Now, there's a lot of different types of planets too. We have layered planet, which basically just has like more mountains and so on. And in planet itself is going to be the one that we're going to be using today. And then also we have hollow planet here, so you can choose. But basically, I'm going to be just using the normal planet. As you can see, it will be created, but we don't see it. This is because it's very big, so we will need to go outside. And basically I recommend setting the camera speed higher so we can have more control of the situation. Now the thing is that still this planet is a bit small, so we need to make it bigger. A size that works pretty well is basically just 1000. Now this isn't too big. Okay, let me just zoom out. This isn't like something crazy, but it is still pretty big, as you can see. Let me just, can I get into an angle here? Like it's pretty big, but not from the other world that it will crash a computer. So 1000 will work pretty much well for me. Now another thing that we have to do is go into the sun sky and then go down into the sky atmosphere. And here the transform mode, we have to change from planet top into planet center, because it has to be in the center of the world. And then we have to match the ground radius with our planet radius. And because we set our basically a Voxel world to be 1000 of the scale, we need to set this at 1. And now you can see that it will be correctly placed. If we were to put it at, increase a bit or whatever, you can see that we might get some problems. For example, let me put it at maybe 10. Yeah, you can see that we get this ugly outline, as you can see. So we have to be careful. If I were to put 15, you can see now it's like hollow. So 1 will work good for us if you're using that scale. If you need to change the scale, you will also need to change that radius. But now we can go ahead and continue on with our planet. I recommend going ahead and saving our level. So let's just call this planet or whatever you want to call it, just in case it crashes or whatever. Okay. And another thing I have to do is just decrease a bit the sky intensity. It's very strong. So let's the skylight, go here and maybe reduction light, let's put it to 10 maybe. Yeah, that's way better. We'll play with +% if so later on. But basically, let's select our voxel world. Let's go down into the voxel material and let's search for colors. And you'll see this, if we go up, it doesn't crash, if we go, this one called M voxel materials _ colors. We want to use this one, and as you can see, this will basically add colors into our planet and looks much better. Now you can see that maybe it is basically with a very low resolution. Don't worry, as you get closer it will start loading in a higher detail, but there's some options that we can touch in order to change this a bit. Let's select back again our voxel world, and we can change the world size in voxel. Basically just drag it up a bit, and basically this will just increase the amount of voxels that it was used. It's like the resolution, right? And we can also change the octane depth to be a bit higher or whatever. You can play with the settings. Another thing that we can do is search for the LOD, and we can go into the max LOD and basically drop it down to maybe a lower value, so basically it will have more quality, right? Now we can also go ahead and search for the thread, and basically you can see that we have in the number of threads in performance, we can maybe increase this to 6, and then also in here to 6, and this will just make the computer work with more power in order to render our planet. Now you can see the still from outside, it might look a bit too blurry and things like that. In my case, this is just an example, but you can really play with this settings in detail to get what you want. But if I now were to actually get very close to the planet, okay, and literally press play, you can see that we can play with our third-person character in the freaking planet. This is crazy. And if I were now to press F8, I can now zoom out, and you can see the freaking whole huge planet. This is absolutely crazy. Now I think that you may want to add, and I was playing I think that doesn't work very well. It's basically just go up here, go into visual effects, and just get the volumetric cloud and just drag into the scene. If I were to basically center this again into the world, you will see that it doesn't appear, but only in certain parts of our planet. If I were to go down here, you can see that we have a cloud, and it doesn't really look very well. Basically, there is a specific point where you can see all the clouds stretching and they don't look good. So basically the volumetric cloud will not really work good in this setup. You will basically need to make like your own material. But that's it, guys. If you found this tutorial helpful, I would really appreciate if you like the video and subscribe to my channel. I have lots of Unreal Engine 5 tutorials and videos, so go ahead and check them out. Join my Discord server and follow me on all my socials. And now, yes, with all that said, bye bye.